Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. Family, this video is about this bozo who is constantly caught sticking his foot or his feet in his mouth and then chewing on it. He embarrasses himself. I'm sure he embarrasses his family. He is an embarrassment to the presidency and definitely an embarrassment to the majority of Americans. This man is caught lying once again. But before I get into that, I just want to state that this man has a serious obsession, and it's backwards. It's really dangerous in my point of view, in my opinion, that he has this obsession with former President Barack Obama. I think it's because Barack Obama was our first black president, and for 8 years he was a success. He was a success and did a lot of things for a lot of Americans. People have figured that out. They see it clearly, and now we have this BOZO the Clown who is sitting in the White House right now, and he's doing all sorts of things that's so ass backwards, and then deflecting every time someone from the media questions him or people talk about him and question his authority and his legitimacy as a president. This Bozo the Clown is hard for me to call any type of president. He may be a president of his corporation. He may even be president of his stupid reality talk show that he was a part of. But as far as the United States, I have a hard time recognizing this person as our president. In the same fashion, he had a hard time recognizing our former president, Barack Obama. Yes, it goes both ways. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. White people, you can be offended all you like, but this Bozo the Clown is doing this all to himself. He's doing it all by himself. Let me remind you, no one told him to say these things. It's coming out of his own mouth. No one told him to get on Twitter and start tweeting ignorance. He does it himself. So with that said, I'm going to roll the clip, let you hear it from the horse's mouth. Pay attention to when the media starts to question him, how his answers, he goes from one thing, contradicts himself, and ends up on a whole different part of the equator. It's silly. It's sickening. And again, he's representing America in the worst kind of way. Let's get rolling.
His delay in responding to recent Army Green Beret deaths in Niger, President Trump deflected before we pressed him on it. On the steps of the Rose Garden, President Trump responding to questions about why he had not commented yet on the deaths of 4 U.S. soldiers in Niger nearly 2 weeks ago.
I actually wrote letters individually to the soldiers we're talking about, and they're going to be going out.
The president saying he would call the families this week, adding this claim that his predecessors did not call families of fallen service members.
If you look at President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls. A lot of them didn't make calls. I like to call when it's appropriate, when I think I'm able to do it.
NBC News pressing him on that. Earlier you said that President Obama never called the families of fallen soldiers. How can you make that claim?
I don't know if he did. No.
Well, in fact,
I was told that he didn't often, and a lot of presidents don't. They write letters.
You were told that based on what, Mr. President?
I do, excuse me, Peter. I do a combination of both.
He's
Sometimes
so arrogant.
It's a very difficult thing to do, but I do a combination of both. President Obama, I think, probably did sometimes, and maybe sometimes he didn't. I don't know. That's
Listen to this.
The president's assertion igniting a firestorm of criticism. Overnight, former Attorney General Eric Holder tweeting, "Stop the damn lying. You're the president. I went to Dover Air Force Base with 44 and saw him comfort the families of both the fallen military and DEA."
Facts.
President Obama's former deputy chief of staff immediately blasting President Trump on Twitter, tearing into his claim
a fucking
as
lie.
A spokesperson for former President George W. Bush says he wrote all the families of the fallen during his presidency.
Facts.
And called or met with hundreds, if not thousands.
Facts.
One woman whose brother was killed in Iraq says, quote, President Bush listened while I screamed at him.
You fat
and then
fucking
held me
liar.
as I sobbed. Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders later defending President Trump, saying he wasn't criticizing his predecessors, but, quote, stating a fact.
Oh,
adding,
God, she's so
individuals
pathetic.
Former presidents, such as their bosses, called each family
She's sickening.
Are mistaken. Press Secretary
She's a little chihuahua.
Like past presidents, President Trump has called, sent a letter, or met with the families of the fallen since taking office. As for those Green Berets killed in Niger, now 13 days ago, I asked the White House again this morning whether the president's letters have now been mailed or calls to those families made, but so far no new update. Matt Savannah.
President Obama never called the families of fallen soldiers. How can you make that claim?
I don't know if he did. No.
Well, in fact,
I was told that he didn't often, and a lot of presidents don't. They write letters.
You were told that based on what, Mr. President?
I do. Excuse me, Peter. I do a combination of both. Sometimes it's a very difficult thing to do.
Okay, as you saw, BOZO the Clown was going through a whole lot of series of excuses and innuendos. He would say, on one hand, well, I think he did, but I'm not for sure, and all this and that. This is coming from so-called leadership. Damn! And the alt-wrong folks, you guys are so stupid to support this. I'm out. You guys are idiots. But yet, you claim you have high IQs. I don't think so. I'm out.